So the first question, why did I start coaching? I started coaching because I realised I'd hit a brick wall on my own and I needed help for that, and that was completely okay. But the key thing is I knew it was really vital to get the right help for me. I organised multiple consultations with several coaches. I spoke to them about their approach. I learnt about them as approach, but Sam was the only person who challenged my thinking. Everyone else followed the pattern of these are the boxes you will tick on a weekly basis, this is the progress we will make, and this is what is expected of you. Whereas Sam challenged my assumptions. Why do you want to do that? Why that goal? Is that really what you want? And no one else had done that. And that was huge for me. Where am I at right now in my fitness journey? Right now, I'm focusing on becoming strong in my body, feeling confident in my body, and increasing my lifts. Previously, I had been very focused on aesthetics, and that still crops up from time to time. That's completely okay. But now I take a much more performance-based approach. How are my lifts doing? How is my form? And I try to stray as far away as I can from assessing my physique from an aesthetic perspective. My two biggest learnings from coaching are that one, the middle ground is the best place to be. And what I mean by that is if you move towards the extremes of any form of thinking, you often end up in black and white thinking. And that is the idea that something is either really good or it's awful. And that doesn't help you at all. Often being sat in this middle ground allows you to come from a place of response rather than reactivity. And when you can do that, you can rationalize things a lot more easily. So for example, I had a really bad day and I've eaten a huge slice of cake. That must mean I'm awful and I'm not aligned with my goals. You could go down that rabbit hole of catastrophizing and throw out your entire week, or you have an alternative in front of you. You can look at it differently and say, I had a very stressful day at work because of this, and what I've done this time is use food as an emotional regulation tool because I have found it comforting. That's not to say that's a bad thing. It is only a bad thing if it leaves me with a negative feeling afterwards because I have done that. Has that happened? It has happened. Okay, what will I do next time instead? Maybe I'll go for a walk. Maybe I will go to the gym instead. Maybe I'll actually do something really grounding, like have a bath. So you have the same situation, different mindset, two completely different outcomes. And that's been a huge learning for me. And it has literally revolutionized every part of my life, from work to personal, to coaching, to business. It's changed everything. Working with Sam has definitely improved my relationship with food. There are moments I catch myself now and I smile because I would never have eaten those foods with as ease that I do now. Back then, I was very black and white in my thinking around my food. I had more food rules than the Pope. It was ridiculous. I wouldn't eat gluten, I wouldn't eat onions, I wouldn't eat tomatoes. There were so many things I wouldn't touch, and it was because I was just so restricted. Now, if you bear in mind, I'm 5'9" and I was 52 kilos at one point. So I was about a UK size 4. And previously I would look at the photos of me when I was that size and I would miss it. I would think, God, I was so lean there. Whereas now I look at them and go, I wasn't supporting my body, and actually that's not a healthy weight for me to be at, and that's okay. And that type of thought process, which is much louder now, wouldn't have happened without Sam. Would I have achieved this on my own? I'm good, but everyone can deal with help. So I would say that, would I have got there eventually on my own? Probably. Would I have got there this quickly on my own? No. And honestly, I think that's what you need to think about when you're looking for a coach. You are capable of change, right? And that will happen at any speed that you can do on your own. What getting a coach will do is help you make that transition potentially much quicker than you think you could. Because just like a plant, you are putting yourself in the right environment for you to grow. Plants will grow at the side of anywhere on their own, given enough rain and sunlight. But if you pop it into the right environment, you pop it into a nice bed in a garden centre where it has everything it could possibly need, it'll shoot up way quicker. So treat yourself.